Welcome back to the Morning Blend. The September issue of Metroparent magazine has an important article about talking to kids about race. The author is raising a mixed-race child, and she has helpful hints about starting that conversation. Everyone notices race, even kids. Consider this. From about 6 months to 1 year, babies already recognize differences in skin color and hair textures.
Rochelle Fritsch is a Metroparent blogger, and she wrote the article about a subject that can sometimes be hard to discuss. Good to have you here.
Nice to be here.
Good
Thanks.
to see you.
I think it's great. I think parents get so comfortable with things like talking about the birds and the bees and alcohol, drugs, things like that. But when they're young and you have to talk about other issues, race is something that conversation should come to, but it doesn't, right?
Well, you know, I think it should be talked about, but I think it's natural because, like you said, little tiny babies, they notice the difference. And if you think about it, we teach our kids colors. Here's a blue crayon, here's a yellow crayon. So they're obviously going to notice a difference in people. And what will happen is you'll have a 3-year-old, because they say whatever comes to mind.
Yep.
That lady is really dark, and parents freak. It's like, well, we're
shouldn't
all
say
the
that.
same. Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
And it's scary. So it's something we have to talk about. The kids are talking about it already. The other thing why we really should, from ages, I believe it's kindergarten to 3rd grade, they're already assigning characteristics. So if we want them to have some healthy attitudes about people who are different from them, this is a normal conversation that we have.
And I think that that's the reality of it, is that kids do notice. You know, some people say, oh, kids are just kids.
Right.
They don't notice race. They just see everybody the same. And I think once we accept that they do notice differences, that's where we can then start to make progress as it relates to relating to people on an individual basis.
Exactly. And that it's okay to notice differences. You've got beautiful blue eyes and your eyes are beautiful brown. I mean, why is it any different if we're talking about skin color, hair texture, or whatever?
Well, I think everybody's so afraid to be offensive, and everyone's so afraid to say the wrong thing. And truthfully, as you mentioned, I mean, kids see it. The problem is that sometimes the adults can include a bias in that conversation. So what kinds of things can you say to kids to make sure that we're all inclusive?
Well, you know what? I think, first of all, if we're talking about little ones, keep it simple. Keep it simple. I noticed that the lady over there has blonde hair. Okay, yeah, she does. And yours is this color. And both of you like pizza. I mean, bring out just the commonalities. You can appreciate differences, but say, you know what? There are some things that are the same. There was a really good researcher, and she had written something that she did with her preschooler. She was making eggs. She had one brown egg, and she had one white egg. And he's like, oh, they're different. She says, they sure are. Let's make our scrambled eggs. And she cracks the eggs. She's like, wow, see? They're both the same on the inside.
Cute.
So we can be different on the outside. Ultimately, we're all people. We're all same on the inside.
We got the same guts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, thank you. That's lovely.
Your daughter's 12, right?
Yes.
At what age did you start talking to her about the fact that she was of a mixed race?
Well, probably when she was really little, because she does notice, obviously I'm black, my husband's white, and so she's both, right? And so she noticed, I mean, her skin color is a little bit between both of ours. So she's like, Mom, I'm kind of peachy. And Dad, I forgot what color of the crayons or something she used to describe it. I'm like, that's right. I said, we're all together. We're all a family. And I used books, too. My favorite book, I wish I had brought it, is called The Colors of Us. And it's by Karen Katz. It's a kid-friendly book. And it's really simple. It talks about all the people in the neighborhood where the kid grows up. And so-and-so is like butter. She's the color of butter. And the other person's like cinnamon. And going on. And it's an appreciation for all the different colors we are.
I think it's great. I just think that the topic in general is something everybody just shies away from, and to have that sort of easy flow of conversation, you know, is interesting. And you know, one of my very good friends adopted two children. She's white, they're both black, and she's had to learn as well differences in how to do her daughter's hair, things like that. And I think sometimes that's what kids notice is more physicalities like that. Like you mentioned, she has blonde hair, I have dark hair. Why is mine curly? How do we make, you know, and so I think those conversations just sort of bridge that gap of being able to ask questions comfortably, even of their own friends.
Well, exactly. And I also think it's understanding that this isn't a one and done thing, right? So my daughter wanted to know about different colors, and I'm like, cool, let's celebrate all the colors. And she starts getting older, and the questions get a little bit more difficult. You know, if your kids go into Martin Luther King Jr. Month or Black History Month, and all this stuff comes up, well, tell me what you're learning. Tell me what you think about it. There's other things too. I mean, you look for the teachable moments. If we're looking at things on television or music, you know, talk about how they're portraying someone who's different from them. Do you think that's true? Do you think it's not true? And have your ears open, because they're going to say stuff that you can pick up on, and that you can either correct or go, you know what, you got a point there. You know?
And I do think that kids today are more sensitive and more aware, because I think the conversation is more common now, as it should be. And I think it's with that conversation that there tends to be not just tolerance, but an acceptance and a welcoming of people who are different in a variety of ways.
Exactly. And just to have the beauty of it. Now, the cool thing is this summer we went to New York. First time for my daughter, first time for me for an extended period of time. And we're walking through Manhattan, and it's like, Mom, look at all the different people. I'm like, I know, this is so cool. And the different languages. And again, it's teachable moments, stuff like that. The things that we think are everyday, they're really looking, but you can look at that stuff and bring things out and spur conversations.
That exposure, too, I think just helps with that acceptance.
Oh, gosh,
knowledge.
Definitely.
It's great. Here's the information so you can read more. It's at metroparentmagazine.com. You can find Rochelle's article there and also learn more about all their great articles and bloggers there as well. Thanks for being here. Great topic.
Thanks for having me.
Wonderful to see you. Thank you.